Hey kiddos, I hope you had a great second week of school. To start off our third week, we are going to be doing a new focus wall book, and it is The Invisible Boy by Trudy Ludwig. All of our comprehension activities this week are going to be about making connections. And a connection is, well, there can be three different kinds. So we have connections that we can make from our focus wall book to other books we have read. It says, it reminds me of something in another book I read. So maybe something in this story happens and it reminds you of another book. You can also make text to world connections, and text to world connections reminds me of real events in the world. Maybe this is something you've seen on the news or something you've heard about from a mom or dad or a grown-up, who knows, but a text to world connection. And then the third type of connection is text to self. So it reminds me of something in my life. So this means the focus wall book reminds you of something that has happened to you or you've seen happen or you've heard about that happens to you. Something that reminds you of something that you have experienced, okay? So 3 different connections we could make. Text to text, text to world, and finally text to self. And to kind of go into more detail about a connection is when readers make connections. So remember, our comprehension skills are things really good readers use to get better at reading and to start reading harder books. It helps them make a picture in their head. So maybe it helps you play a movie in your head. Have you ever had a time where you were listening to a story and you could not see the pictures, but you could picture it in your brain? That's what a connection helps you to do. It helps you understand what's happening in the text better, and they can relate to characters and the emotions. So maybe something will happen in this story and it will make you feel like, oh, that's happened to me before, and you kind of understand what they're going through. With the connections, we're going to be doing this little flap sheet. You will find BME, and BME stands for beginning, middle, and end. And so I want you to make connections with the beginning of the story, something that happens in the middle of the story, and then something that happens at the end of the story. So beginning, middle, end. And these can be any kind of connections you make. I do want you to try to make complete sentences because we are second graders now. So you can choose text to text, text to self, text to world on any of these. If you want to challenge yourself, maybe you do a different one for each beginning, middle, and end. I don't know. But when you're done with this, you cut it out and you cut on the flaps and you'll glue this part in your notebook. So then when it's in your reading notebook, you can open the flaps. I want to see a picture of this, and maybe you could read me your connections. With The Invisible Boy, we are also talking about new vocabulary words. And remember, we do vocabulary on Tuesdays. And so I'll just read our vocabulary words really quick. So we have scurry, greedy, scaling, imagination, volume, and invisible. So these are words that we will hear in the story. We'll go over the definitions on the next lesson. Our grammar skill is complete sentences, and we're going to get really good at these in second grade. And a complete sentence means it tells a complete thought. So it uses correct punctuation, correct use of capital letters. It makes sense. Sometimes we read our writing and we think, well, that didn't really make any sense. And so here's some examples. We eat lunch in the cafeteria at noon. That is a complete sentence. An incomplete sentence would be lunch with my friends each day. You listen to that and it kind of makes you think, I need some more information here. So we'll do some activities with that as well. I did find another poster, and this kind of goes along with making connections too. I like to think of good connections as deep pool connections, like the deep end of the pool where you could maybe jump off a diving board into. Really deep. versus shallow connections. So like a baby pool or like a little wading pool where you could stand up and the water only goes up to maybe your ankles. That's a very shallow. So deep connections are when we expand on our connections. So maybe we say, that reminds me of a time I was at school. Okay, well, tell me why it reminds you of a time you were at school. So, example, I felt the way the character did when versus I have a dog too. So it's kind of a very shallow connection. And then a deep one is where you really go into it, where you really talk about why it reminds you of that, being very specific. Moving on, we are going to keep our AT words. This guy right here, we're going to keep our AT words this week, and we're going to be doing a lot of cool things with them this week. We're going to start spelling, which is really exciting, and you will be asked to brainstorm. Here's one page. Let me get one with both sides. Okay. You're going to be asked to brainstorm words that have the AT word chunk in it. And so in your bag, my remote learners, you will get a piece of paper that has the word soundboard on the top. It's double-sided. And you're going to brainstorm words first on this side. So you're going to come up with words that you could put one letter at the beginning and it makes sense with at. So if I had the word at, that's my word chunk. I would go through, okay, B, bat, that's a word. C, cat, that's a word too. D, dat, not a word. So you're just gonna go through our soundboard on both sides using just one letter at the beginning and then our blends and our digraphs to help you brainstorm a bunch of words. That's what we're gonna do in here, so I want you to do it too. Keep this, because you're gonna do this every week. So you're brainstorming AT words, and you can put them in your spelling notebook. I want to see them written. I want to see that you did this. You're also going to get a poem, and this one is called A Special Pet. And what we do is, these are phonics poems, so we're really looking for our phonics chunk. So you're going to highlight or underline any words you see in this poem that have AT. And then finally, you're getting some new homework type things, and it is a spelling menu. And the spelling menu looks like this. You're gonna put your name here, and you fold it like this, where this is on the front. There's lines here that will help you fold. And I want you to do one activity each day from here. So just one activity. You can just follow the directions on both sides, one a day. And I think that is all I have for you. If I think of anything else, I will shoot another video out to you guys. But I'm so excited for you to read The Invisible Boy. Keep up the good work, following along on our schedule. And I will see you on the next one. Have a great week, guys. You guys are awesome. Bye.